everyone, and welcome to another edition of Magic Friday. As always, I'm your host, Jamie D. Grant, and we're filming outside today in Vancouver, Canada. And we're going to talk about Juxtaposition by Devonte. System 6 Magic put this out. And as you guys know, I'm kind of big into the forums, read a lot of stuff online, and I'm always fascinated by... The thing I like about card magic is I'm fascinated by how can people come up with new things. As you know, I'm a creator myself, and you know, when it comes to cards, I just kind of like, you think to yourself, surely everything in the world has been done by now, yet these creators just still come out with things that are new, relevant, and amazing, and it blows my mind. What are we feeding kids these days? How do they come up with this stuff? So Devonte, whose last name is Devonte Rosero, hope I pronounced that right. Like, I can't even fathom how he came up with the other half of this. You'll see, I'll show you right now. Someone commented that my Magic Fridays are all over the map, so I'm going to be linear today. So, as always, the first thing, what the audience sees. Okay. 2 decks. I'm going to kind of blend what the audience sees with how it went, because there's some interesting things I found out from Friday that's really curious, and I'll kind of explain as I go. So I say to the audience, choose a deck, please. 99 point, I think one person all day Friday chose the blue. Everyone chooses red. Everyone. I can't tell you why. But so be it. So they choose the red. Perfect, just put those aside for now. They put them for the side, we'll put them right there. Kind of sitting weird here. So I give them the blue deck, so they're holding on to it. Just hold on to those for me, put them in your pocket. We're gonna put them aside. The red deck, do me a favor. For the sake of time, just mentally think of one of these cards. We won't go through the whole thing, but just mentally pick one of these. I don't want to influence your decision. Don't say it out loud. Just mentally pick one. Okay, mentally pick one. Don't tell anyone. Do me a favor. Remember the suit. I mean, remember the value, but keep the suit in mind too. Just remember the whole thing. That'll make it easier, okay? Because watch. Do you still remember your card? God, really? I'm going to make you do you forget it? No, you remember it? Well, maybe I can do something else. Maybe I can actually make it disappear. Not from your mind, but from the deck. I then spread out. Their card is not here. It's actually gone. You don't see your card? They don't see it. You've been holding that blue deck the whole time. I haven't touched it. Pull out the blue deck. They pull out the blue deck. You take it. You can see the blue deck, but one card, I believe, one card is red. Can you see that? One card. Now, before you take it, this is called building suspense. Name the card that you selected mentally. You haven't even touched it. They say whatever it was, and of course I didn't mentally select a card when I did this, but they say whatever. It was the Jack of Clubs. You pull out the Jack of Clubs. Don't turn it over just yet. We'll do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And it's the red card. Amazing. I'm not allowed to say amazing. Fantastic. Brilliant. Genius. Can't get too far ahead of myself. All I can tell. So, okay, let's talk about when we buy magic. I know there's comments. $30 for one trick is First of all, I would like to say that I'd pay $100 for one trick if I were going to use it in my working set. Easily. If I'm charging $500 for an hour, and I do the same tricks forever, to add one in, $100, I wouldn't even think about it. That said, I know what it's like. If every trick costs $100 and we're spending all this money, then and you don't put them in your set, then it sucks, right? I'm not eating, but I've got really good magic. So when it comes to cost, I'll take the hit so that you don't have to. And I personally think that secrets can be expensive. I'm not really too I don't think secrets should be cheap, money-wise or belief-wise. You know, secrets should cost something. So if it goes into my set, without question, it's worth it. So the question, of course, is this goes in my set. Before we get to there, let's talk about how, when you buy magic, you know, there has to be some sort of research on your part of, is this better than something I already have? Is it better than something that, you know, similar that when someone else has already done? You know, what are the pluses and the minuses? And I was reading some forums on the cafe, and, you know, this effect, the first part especially, is very similar to others. You know, the old, you know, card disappears. There's so many effects where your card disappears. So is it better? Is it worse? Is it different? All these things play a huge part in you know, in what we shop for, because it's shopping, and what we're going to use. So that said, I have to hand it to Devonte for coming up with this new thing on an old premise. Like, it's great. And so the things I like about, okay, let's talk about Friday. Sorry, this, you know, whoever who commented that I go around in circles, you are right, but I can't change. It's who I am. You are so right. I go around in circles. What can you do? Okay. What the audience saw, you saw. How it went. Incredible. There was such a moment where, don't turn that card over, like so you're revealing you're showing the blue cards, one of them is red, you turn it over, pull out your card, don't turn it over. The thing that's great about this is I then put the decks away. Like, everything's just, it's a very clean image. They're holding a card that they thought of. And it's a two-part effect, right? Not only is it a different color, but it disappeared from the first deck. And I think that's the part that maybe doesn't translate in the trailer that really hit home Friday. It's not just that the card is red, but it's that it physically traveled from one deck to someone's pocket. And that's what the trick was, really. It was the traveling of the effect that people talked about, the traveling of the card that people talked about. They were like, oh my God, how did it get into his pocket? That deck was in his pocket the whole time. That was something that I heard a few times. That deck was in his pocket the whole time. Not, how did he turn this card red? Does that make sense? It's not you're turning one card in a deck. It's you're physically making it jump from my body to theirs. Which is amazing. That's absolutely golden. So yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. The question of reset, and I hope I don't how can I think I'm okay saying this. Reset is really easy after you've done the trick 20 times, because you're gonna remember. Can I say this? I think I can say this with no problem. It doesn't affect anything. You're going to remember the order after 10 times. So reset, for me, after, you know, the 10th time was, bam, I knew exactly where everything went. Pew, done. Yeah, it was awesome. So now we get back to going around in circles. Will it go into my working set? I think it will. At the beginning, I didn't think so, because I'm like, you know, what's the reset gonna be like? But now it's bam, 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 you know, when I'm turning around, and I'm really fast at it. So why would this go into my set? And I'm talking working set. Because there's no moves. Believe it or not, I'm always honest. There's no move. There's no sleight of hand at all. Someone gets to hold on to something, which I love, always love, especially when you're when you're doing cocktail party magic. This is all gonna be in the book, by the way. The approach. There's a link below. People are holding drinks. This wasn't at work. When you do gigs, people holding drinks, they usually have one hand free. That's basically what they got. So for them to just hold on to the deck and not have to, you know, it's great. They get to hold on to it. And it's just so strong. The other thing I like is that if you have another person, if you're doing it for a group, which you always are, one person's holding the blue deck the whole time, then the other person that mentally selected it got to flip over the card. So it's actually, those two people are involved. You know, it wasn't just the person that thought of the card that had the magic to. A lot of people were asking the person that was holding the deck, how did that get in there? Like, he didn't, he was no part of this, but he's a huge part in the end. Yeah, I love it. Okay, difficulty. No difficulty. Well, is there difficulty? Maybe. Okay, well, that's not fair. There's, you gotta spread some cards. That's... I love magic. How difficult. I had to spread some cards. But it's something you do have to know how to do. You gotta know how to spread some cards. Yeah, that's it, man. I'm kind of lost in thought trying to think of something bad about this thing, but it's regular decks. You're not using the decks for other magic, when they're dedicated to this effect. In a walk around gig, I don't care because I've got a regular deck on me anyway, so that's fine. Angry Bob didn't have a clue. Angry Bob, down for the count. He was the one holding the blue deck. So for Angry Bob, when I took it back, he kind of had that mental thought of, I think, of why did I hold on to this? Because nothing happened. Nothing happens. I think he was waiting for some sort of crazy move, and there wasn't one. You just take it back, spread. Yeah, he was silent, which is great. I think he actually smiled for once. That's it. The JDG tip is what I mentioned already. Just once you go through it, you're going to memorize the order, and it's going to help you in spades. That's my tip. Just memorize the order of the first, first chunk there. Ain't no thing. Okay, that's it. Did I go around? I ran around these circles. I did. Devonte, Juxtaposition. I love it. It's funny. Remember when I was saying about how I only want to do pure magic? I only want to use a regular deck of cards, do 10 tricks with regular deck cards. That's true. I'm not going back on that. But I'm starting to really explore the idea of double decks and just different card magic, because my working sets have been the same for over a decade, really. So I always add things in and out, but yeah, why not? Why not take a look? Try it out. Juxtaposition by Devonte. Awesome. You're going to love it. How much was it? $30? $40? Happy Magic Friday. I'll see you next week.